Picture this. You just got a new account and now you need to quickly understand their business and challenges. But as you dive into the research, you are overwhelmed with information and not sure where even to begin. You spend hours on this, and that's exactly what I used to deal with at my previous companies. But what if I told you there is a way to make your cold outreach stand out without spending hours on each account? Imagine a tool that does the research for you in seconds and not hours. That's where Perplexity comes in. And I'm excited to show you how you can use it for your cold outreach. Now you might be wondering, why should I listen to this guy? Yeah, that's fair. I've spent the past 6 years prospecting, led outbound for over 3 years, and now I'm building my own business focused on helping others scale outbound. Hey, if you are new here, I'm Eric, the Outbound and host of the Outbound Kitchen podcast. I'm on a mission to help you work smarter. I'm on a mission to help you work smarter in outbound and cold outreach. I share actionable tips and strategies that are working right now to help you hit your targets. Okay, 3 reasons why I use Perplexity AI and not ChatGPT or Google. Reason number 1, it's real-time information. Yes, Google can do it, and Perplexity also can do it, but ChatGPT can't do this because ChatGPT, they need to find information online. Second reason, the link analysis. So Perplexity AI is able to look for different websites at the same time and then give you the information. And ChatGPT and Google can do that for you. And that's where exactly where you can save hours just on your research. And the last reason is AI can quickly give you what's relevant for you. And you don't need to read all the information that Perplexity will find for you. And that's something Google or ChatGPT can do. So that's why I use Perplexity AI and not Google or ChatGPT for this. Before we talk about how I use Perplexity and how you can use it also, let's talk about the ways I don't use it for. I don't use it to write my cold emails or write messages for LinkedIn or write my cold call scripts. And because I want to pick what's the most relevant information that Perplexity is going to give me. And having Perplexity doing the job for me about missing everything, I don't think Perplexity is doing a great job at it. It's great to give me the information I'm looking for, but then I wouldn't be the one picking the information to know what's relevant for the business. And then the other thing also is I think Perplexity is not great for if your account is not, if you are prospecting accounts who are not online, so meaning that if you go after factories, for example, really small businesses, and you won't find, and you can't find a lot of information about them online, I don't think that would be a great tool for that. So let's talk about how I use Perplexity, and I'm going to show you how, obviously, but I use Perplexity as my personal assistant to find information online about my accounts and my prospect, and then I know I have a track for those accounts, and I can use that in my cold outreach, so email, on the phone, or LinkedIn, for example. And I spend seconds or minutes just to do that instead of spending hours for each account. Okay, now let's show you how I'm using Perplexity. And so to do that, I'm going to show you 2 examples, so one private company and one public trading company. For the private company, I'm going to use Nooks as an example, and for the public trading company, Eventbrite. And for Nooks, I'm going to talk about how I could use Perplexity to find information that I can use for my fractional SDR leadership services, for example. And for Eventbrite, I'm going to show you how I use Perplexity to do the account research and how I could talk about CasterDoc, for example, and use this information in my outreach. So prompt number 1 I'm using with Nooks is creating an account plan. So here the prompt, so create an account plan for Nooks. So I'm giving the website also. Number of employees and size of the sales team. How does the company make money? Who is on the leadership team? Who are their competitors according to G2? What tech stack does the sales team use based on review? What are the current market trends impacting the company? And how do these trends affect their business and sales team? Okay, now I have the answer from Perplexity. So I have the company overview, give me the information. The problem I have with Perplexity, that's I think a limit of it. It's they're going to use some information that may be outdated. So for example, the number of employee, it's not accurate because if you go on LinkedIn, it shows that they have 134 plus employees. And so here it says 38, but here you can see the source. For example, it says GrowJo. So GrowJo, they might not be updated. So that's why. Then you have the revenue model. It gives you, because I was asking how do they make money. It's a SaaS business. So that's the model they're currently using to make money. Same for the leadership team as what I was saying earlier is we, for example, the information that you will find, maybe it's not updated. So LinkedIn may be a better source for that, but that's one way to use it. Then you have the competitors and then the tech stack that Nooks might be using, because here, for example, Perplexity was not able to find the information on it. And then we have the current market trend and impact. Okay, so now let's focus on another prompt that I'm using, for example, for private companies. So the focus on initiative or challenges that my services can focus. So here I'm just focusing on the account in general, not one specific person. So now I have the answer of Perplexity about this. So I can see for my fractional SDR leadership services, we can see they are growing really quickly and scaling quickly. And so here we have some information. They raised a Series A with $22 million. And then we have more information, for example, so outbound optimization here, talent acquisition in a competitive market, adapting to market trends, enhancing sales productivity, reducing hiring risk. So it's all relevant to what I'm selling. And so it's pretty give me a quick overview of that. And then I have the links if I want to go deeper and to know what I can use. Because I already know that, but for example, I know the two co-founders at Nooks that are the most relevant. We have Dan Lee and Ron Suri. I want to have Perplexity to help me find information about them and initiative, for example, that they can use. So that's the prompt number 3. What recent initiative have Nooks co-founders Dan Lee and Ron Suri been leading? And I can see Perplexity went doing some research, and then I can see Series F funding, for example. Okay, so I already know that, I already got that. Now we have product expansion. We were not talking about that earlier, but they talk about, they have Nooks AI researcher, for example, Nooks numbers, Nooks core analytics, virtual sales flow, team growth, customer. So we have more information that I can leverage. But now let's focus on more specific. Maybe they have been on podcasts or interviews. So I have another prompt for that. So the prompt, I'm going to read it for the people who are not watching it, but can you provide all the most recent resources, interviews, articles, videos, or other content from Nooks co-founders Dan Lee, CEO, and Ron Suri, sales leader, where they mention recent initiatives or changes is Nook facing that my fractional SDR leadership services can address, hiring outbound reps, find the right candidates, and minimize mishires, and outbound optimization to improve the efficiency of the team. Say why it's relevant. And I'm saying say why it's relevant because even though I'm specific about what I'm looking for, sometimes the AI of Perplexity is not going to give me all the say why it's relevant and why I can use that. Okay, so we have Series A again that we can use, team growth, product expansion, customer base. So that's another way to use it because sometimes you have some information they might be saying on the same thing, but here we have some information we could leverage, so some articles. And here at the end, actually that's pretty good from AI to do that, but I didn't say this initiative and changes are highly relevant to your fractional SDR leadership services because rapid growth and funding indicate a need for scaling the sales team efficiently. The focus on outbound and first strategy align with your expertise. The introduction of new AI-powered features require optimization of outbound processes to leverage these tools effectively. The upcoming EMA on advanced strategy suggests a company-wide focus on improving outbound performance. So with this, I have some information that I could leverage, but then I have another prompt that I can use for Nooks and for private companies. It's more focused on, because here for Nooks, it's a small company, it's still relevant for me to reach out to the CEO or the co-founders. But for some companies, for example, if you have people below them, so they have a VP of sales, that could be a persona I can go after. So the last prompt is pretty similar to the one with the co-founders. The only difference will be focusing on talking about other sales leaders. So now let's do the research and we'll see that. Okay, so now we have the reply from Perplexity. Actually, we have something that I didn't see earlier, but Danley mentioned growing the team from about 10 people last year to almost 50 people. Rapid expansion suggests a need for expertise in hiring and onboarding new team members, for example. I would say it's pretty same information. So for this account, we have a lot of information that's super repetitive, but for some accounts, from some other accounts, that I think those 5 prompts that can help you to find some information and have a pretty good track for your outreach. So that was the example with Nooks. Let's talk about Eventbrite. Eventbrite's a public trading company. If it's a public trading company, if you don't know what's the difference with a private company, they have some information online. They have earning calls and annual reports. And so it means that you have a lot of information online that you can leverage. Why those information, for example, are important is because earning call or an annual report, they give you the key initiative they're focusing on as a business. And so you don't need an interview to find this information. So that's basically what the business is working on or the challenges they're currently facing, for example. And in this example, I'm going to focus on CastorDoc. So I used to work at CastorDoc. It's a data catalog. So we were selling to data teams. And we are going mainly with enterprise accounts, so more than 500 employees or 1,000 employees. So let's go and use those prompts. So prompt number 1 for them, it's build an account plan about the company. Eventbrite, the difference with Nooks here, we are more specific about the data team. So number of employees, number of people on the data team, how does the company make money, who is in the leadership team, who are their competitors, what tech stack does the data team use, data warehouse, BI tool, etc. What are the current market trends impacting the company, and how these trends affect their business in the data team. Actually, I forgot to mention that if you are wondering if you can use it with the free version, so you can do 5 research every 4 hours. So I think if you use the prompts I'm sharing in the video, you could use that for just one account, basically. Okay, so now for Eventbrite, we have the answer of Perplexity. So here's the results. So company overview, Eventbrite is a global service ticketing and event management platform that allows organizers to plan, promote, and sell tickets to events and push them across social networks. Number of employees and data team. So as of 2023, Eventbrite has 860 employees. Actually, it's more accurate than, for example, for Nooks. If I go on LinkedIn, I know that they have 1,000 employees. Here, Perplexity is not able to find the size of the data team. So if I want to get this information, I will go on LinkedIn on top of Perplexity. The revenue model, they have actually 3 ways. So interesting because obviously it's not a SaaS business here. So we have 3 ways: transaction fees, equipment rental, and Eventbrite organizer app. So then the leadership team, we have 2 people. So Julia Hart, co-founder and CEO, and then John Haddock, chief people officer. Their main competitors on the market are Cvent, Wava, Jotform, Ticketmaster, and SubHub. For the tech stack, let's see actually if it's really, okay. So we don't have any specific tools that Perplexity could find online, but we have more specific about the dev team, tech team. So yeah, I wouldn't use this information here because if I'm not accurate, it's not relevant for the data team. So I would use another source, for example. And then we have the current market trend that's impacting their company. So shifts to online events, demand for transformative experiences, AI integration, sustainability focus, VIP experiences, economic challenges. And so for each one of them, actually, we have Perplexity seeing why it's relevant for how is it's impacting the data team. So let's do one, for example. So shift to online events. This trend likely impact the data team, focus on supporting virtual events, analytics, and user engagement metrics, which could be a good talk point, for example, for my data catalog. That was prompt number 1. Now, going to be really similar to Nooks. Also, it's the current challenges, recent changes that Eventbrite is currently facing that my product can help solve. So CastorDoc, data catalog, business glossary, and data lineage. And now we have the answer again. So they have data quality integration issues. Eventbrite has faced challenges with data integrity and inconsistency across the system, as mentioned in this link here. They had issue with data integrity issues, create a lack of trust, and had to manually reconcile data resources. Castor-Doc data catalog and lineage capabilities could help Eventbrite better track and manage their data assets across systems, improving data quality and trust. So here, if we think about the difference with the private company Nooks we did earlier, here we already have something super relevant to the challenges that the Castor-Doc could solve. Then we have other challenges that Perplexity gave me, but we have modernizing data infrastructure, results. So we have a note actually on the Eventbrite website that they are currently working on. They have a daily data infrastructure and state models that have been changing to maintain in use. So Castor could assist in documenting and organizing Eventbrite data assets as they work to modernize their infrastructure, providing a clear value of lineage and relationship. And then we have a lot more information, data democratization, improving data governance, supporting self-service analytics. And for each one of the changes here, where you have like the source. And so if you want to go deeper and see what get more information about that, that's something you could use. And actually, if I was going to prospect Eventbrite today, I would just need that actually because it's super relevant and it's recent because I know they built this recently on their website. Okay, so that was prompt number 2. Now let's focus on more specific about public traded companies. So prompt number 3 is focusing on the earning calls. What are the key takeaways from Eventbrite's last earning call that are relevant to the changes my product Castor-Doc can solve? Please explain why these takeaways are relevant. And so I already see, meanwhile, Perplexity is still working. The link with the earning call, so it's for Q2 2024. And now we can see the information. So data integration analysis changes. So Eventbrite is experiencing difficulties in accurately forecasting and analyzing ticket sales trend. As mentioned in the call, they had to revise their revenue outlook due to unexpected declines in ticket volumes. They suggest they might be struggling to analyze data effectively across the systems. Castor-Doc data catalog and lineage capabilities could help Eventbrite better understand their data assets and relationship, potentially improving their forecasting and analysis. So using this and reaching out to their leadership team could be super relevant because that's the most recent earning calls. Then we have more information. So here, if you're on the video, you could see that, but I want to show you the next one. So the one focused on 10K and 10Q reports. So 10K and 10Q reports, if you don't know what are those reports, it's the 10K, it's the annual report, and the 10Q, the difference will be they update the annual report every quarter. 10K and 10Qs are interesting to use because the 10K can be done in December, January, for example, but then it's not updated, for example, if you reach out in September, today when I'm recording this video. So that's why I'm specific about that. So here the prompt for those who are listening. What are the key takeaways from Eventbrite's recent 10K and 10Q fillings that are relevant to the changes my product, Castor-Doc data catalog can solve? Please explain why these takeaways are relevant. Okay, so we have same here, the links again of those information. So based on Eventbrite's recent SE fillings, there are several key takeaways relevant to changes that Castor-Doc could potentially address. We have a transition to a marketplace model. Eventbrite evolving into a consumer marketplace for live events and with marketplace revenue now accounting for 13% of total revenue Q1, up from 3% the previous year. This transition likely involves significant changes to the data architecture and the creation of new data sources. Castor-Doc could help Eventbrite manage this transition by providing a clear overview of the evolving data landscape and ensuring data consistency and understanding across the organization. Same here, another example how I could use that because that's from recent filling. So actually here I don't have. So yeah, here for example I don't have the source because I have 6 links, but I don't know exactly from which one it picked the information. So here I will check first what this because here I can see Q1. So maybe it's from Q1. And the earning calls can be more relevant here, for example. And then we have another challenge, for example, from here, data integration challenges. So the company is dealing with multiple revenue streams, including ticket sales, organizer fees, and advertising. Managing and analyzing this diverse revenue source likely requires integrating data from various systems. CastorDoc will help Eventbrite create a unified view of the data assets, making it easier to track and analyze these different revenue sources. So that was the main difference, for example, with private companies. And then we could just focus, for example, on the last one, the last prompt. I already have the data leader at Eventbrite is Arcana Ganapathy, but the prompt for this one, it's the same one as I used for Nooks earlier about the leadership team. So the tech and data leadership team here, because here we are in a bigger company and maybe I don't want to be super specific about the CEO here. But the prompt is, can you provide all the most recent resources, interviews, articles, videos, or other content from Eventbrite, tech and data leaders like Arcana, Ganati, where they mention recent initiatives or changes? Is Eventbrite facing that my data catalog, CastorDoc, business glossary in data lineage can solve? Please explain what, please, that my can address. Please explain why this information is relevant. Okay, so now we have the answer from Perplexity. So let's see. Based on the research results provided, there are few key resources inside from Eventbrite Tech in data leader that are relevant to how data CastorDoc will address their changes. So we have an interview from Arcana that I can use actually because here the information about this interview. So she was on an interview. She's the head of data and analytics engineering, and she discussed about the data stack modernization process. She mentioned several challenges that CastorDoc could help address: data integration issues, knowledge silos, multiple sources of truth. And here, same here, information relevant to the business. So that's something I could use here again to reach out to Eventbrite. But I know there is some really important information that are relevant to the business. And now I know I can be more relevant when I reach out to Eventbrite. That's it for today. If you want the prompts that I just shared, I shared a link in the description so you can use them for your call outreach. And for your next video, here's a video with Benjamin where we cover other ways you can use AI in your call outreach. Thanks for watching and listening to this episode. I see you on the next one.